This candle burns bright like the flames of love. So I have recently gotten out of a 10.5 month relationship, and I learned a lot from it, and I felt like sharing some important cliff notes, so to speak, about my experience in it, and as you read by the title, the effect that other guys really do have on a relationship. So it's me and her story. It's a long one, but it's helpful to tell it start to finish to get a full scope of what happened and where it went wrong. So I met this girl at a church retreat the summer before sophomore year of high school. And for reference, I'm a junior right now. It is January 31st, 2023, and I'm a junior in high school. So I met her over the summer before sophomore year, and I didn't talk to her much at the retreat, but I remember seeing her and thinking, like, okay, she's cute, I like her. And we got back, and after a little bit, as I would get her number, we were talking back and forth, and I kind of got the sense that she liked me, which really pushed me to like try harder and flirt more. And eventually, one time I asked her out, and she said yeah. And this happened around September, like mid-September of sophomore year. So I was talking to her for a couple months, and we dated for a month. We hung out once. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But unfortunately, a little bit before Halloween of that year, we broke up because she just said she didn't think she could have a relationship right now, you know, like the whole easy way out guide thing. And I mean, understandably, I was bummed, but I mean, what are you gonna do? They leave you. Like, he can't do anything, can't change it. It's just what it is. And so I was sad for a little bit, and I was trying to move on, you know. But it was her behavior afterwards that kind of drove me to a place of like a little bit of frustration with her, because she told me she wasn't ready, or she couldn't handle a relationship at the moment. But then whenever I would see her at church, she would flirt with one of my friends, one of my good friends. Like, I'd known this guy since like 6th grade. I'd known him for 5 years. And yeah, she would like flirt with him. And she kind of bothered me, because I mean, like, she said she wasn't ready for a relationship with me, and then went and flirted with this guy, one of my good friends who knew the bro code, and then just let it happen. I was just kind of like, all right, man, whatever. And so yeah, that's kind of annoying. And right when I was close to getting over her, this was like a week before Thanksgiving break, right when I was about to get over her, we were texting for a little bit, and she sent me a picture of us when we were hanging out. We were dating, and she said, I missed this. And I was like, no, dude. Because I was so close to moving on, and I just I hadn't quite moved on yet. Because, I mean, like, I liked her a lot. And I just hadn't moved on yet. And so she did that, and I was so close to moving on. I was like, no, dude, you ruined it. So close to moving on. And I caved. I was like, all right, I still like you, you know, but I want to make sure what happened last time doesn't happen again. I want you to make sure you really want it. You don't get bored. That this is actually what you want. So we decided to hang out one day after our youth group. We hung out, and neither of us could drive at this point, so I had to text my dad to come get me at like 10 p.m. And we hung out and we had fun. It was a good time. And so my dad was on his way, and I was like, all right, so what's the dip? What is the what do you think? Do you actually want this? And she was like, why don't we take a walk? And I was like, all right. So we took a walk outside our neighborhood, and we were walking, just kind of chatting, and we got far away enough from her house, and she was like, okay, do you want to know the dip? And I was like, yeah, sure. And she kissed me there, and that was my first kiss. And it's probably important to mention that when I dated her back in September, that was my first relationship ever. So I was happy. And yeah, this was my first kiss. And it was a good one. I liked it. It was romantic. She did a good job. I enjoyed it. And that was her way of saying, yes, I want this. So I was like, yes, I'm excited. That's fun. Yeah. And then my dad picked me up. I went home, and we texted for a while because the next week was Thanksgiving break, and she was still friends with with my good friend. But here's where some really interesting lore comes in. So she has an older sister who's a year older than her, no, 2 years older than her. And my friend had a brother who was 1 year older than him. And they two were dating. So they would hang out, and my friend would tag along with their dates so that he could hang out with my girlfriend. And naturally, that didn't feel right. I didn't really like that. I didn't really like that. And so the first time I heard it happened, I was just kind of like, oh, I mean, y'all hung out. Okay, friends hang out. And then the second time it happened, she was with them like all day because she tagged along this time, and like his brother didn't want to take them home. And I was just kind of like, okay, I mean, all right, whatever. But then it happened a third day, and I was just kind of like, really? You're seeing him more than me. And then after the third day, in a row to mention, she told me that his brother wanted to come over and watch a movie with her sister, and that he wanted to come over and watch a movie with her. And I told her, I was like, no, we're not doing that. Like, you're not watching a movie with another guy. I'm not letting that happen. Like, we're dating. You're not gonna watch a movie one-on-one with another guy. That's at your house. That's not happening. And the next morning, I wake up to a text that says, like, last night's conversation scared me. I don't know if we should put a label on this. And I was like, fuck that. I'm not. I hate the no label shit so much. Like, you don't even know. I hate the idea of relationship without labels so much. Because it's literally just, you want me to treat you like my girlfriend, but without you having to act like a girlfriend. You're able to go off and act single while I give you all the attention like you're my girlfriend. And I don't like that at all. That's incredibly one-sided, and I don't like that. And so we argued for like 2 hours that morning before we couldn't come to compromise. And I was just like, I'm not doing this. You're either gonna have all of me or you're gonna have none of me. You can't pick and choose. You're not gonna. if you want to date me, you either have to fully date me or you can't date me. I'm not doing a dating without labels thing with you. I don't work like that. Other people might work like that. I don't work like that. And so I bailed out. I was like, no, if this isn't how you want to do it, then we're not going to do it. So I didn't. I left. And I left, but I also left with a lot of salt for her and my friend. I was angry at both of them because I felt betrayed by my friend. And I was just angry at her for being like, you wanted this. I was almost moved on. And then you called me out of the dark and were like, I want to date you again. And then was like, actually, no, I don't know, man. And I was just like, that was really shitty of you to do. It bothered me in the moment. Like right now, I don't care that much. There's bigger issues. But in the moment, I was like, that's pretty shitty. I didn't like that. And so I carried a lot of resentment and salt for her, like for the following couple months. And the following couple months. And then I started liking a new girl from my church, which I know church girls, woo, a lot of crazy about the church girls, but it was a phase. We grow out of it. And I like this girl, and like my ex had a feeling that I liked her, but didn't want to accept it. And when she finally found out I did, apparently she was like so distraught, like crying, and she was like, I knew he liked her, blah 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 blah. And I was just kind of like, I was like, we've been broken up for 2 months now because of something you did. Like I don't know why you're that upset. People move on. You have to learn to do it. And so, in a desperate effort to try and just get closer to me in any way she could, she's trying to help me get this girl. And I know what you're probably thinking, oh, she probably tried to sabotage you. No, I don't think she did. I mean, it didn't work out, as you can probably tell about the story, but it didn't work out. Asked her out and not that it didn't go well. It just didn't go the way I wanted. I didn't get to ask her out the way I wanted. It was really messy. And just, I mean, we're good friends now, but it didn't work out. And she's got a boyfriend, and I'm chill with him. I like her boyfriend. He's fun. And so yeah, that happened. I got rejected. And I was just like, you live, you learn, you move on. So shit happens. It's fine. And leading up to the time when I asked that girl out, me and my ex were FaceTiming to come up with like a battle plan, almost like how I would do it, what I should do. And then the event came and passed, and we kept FaceTiming. And I could get a sense pretty early on that she liked me again. And me, I liked the attention, as humans do. I mean, who wouldn't? And I was just like, all right, I'll lean into this. I'll see where this is going, because I've got nothing else to do. And then eventually, after like a week or two of this, I was like, damn, I'm starting to catch feelings again. And I was very careful. I was like, I gotta be very careful with this, because I'm not letting the same thing happen last time. And so after a little bit, I was finally like, all right, we both know why we're here, why we're still doing this. And we were both just kind of like, yeah, we both kind of know. And so we were like, okay, let's try it again, because why not? But we decided we were going to keep it a little bit of a secret at the beginning, because we didn't want people like be like, we're dating again. Everyone be like, oh, third try. Let's see how many weeks they last this time. And this is, by the way, for clarification, this is March. We got together March 1st of 2020. No, not 2020, 2022. Of my junior year, March. No, I can't speak right. I'm stupid. This was March 1st, 2022, which was my sophomore year. And yeah, we got together again. And hang on. Ooh. Nasty cracks. We got together again, and it was good for a while. I was happy. There were no problems with other guys, you know. I forgot that. I made sure early on that I was like, I'm not gonna let you make the same mistakes you made the last time. You need to promise me that this isn't gonna happen again, that you learned your lesson. She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, good. Then we'll try it. And it was good for a while. Her and my friend had like a falling out, as they usually did. This was like their fourth one. I was feeling pretty good because I was like, hey, I don't have to worry about him. But then around June, they made amends. And his idea of making amends is a lot different from my idea. You can be on good terms with someone, but that doesn't mean you have to hang out. He, for some reason, thought that as soon as he made up, he could just he'd be like, okay, you want to hang out? Be friends, knowing that we were dating. Because we told people about like a month in, and June was about 3 months in when this happened. And he asked her to go out, or not like go out, but like it was basically going out. Asked her to hang out, said he wanted to go get like frozen yogurt, and like he would even pay for her, which is at that point is literally a date. I told her that, and she didn't believe me. This is where it gets bad. I voiced my concern, which I haven't been very good at doing. Something about me is I was just happy to have a girlfriend. I was scared of messing it up, so I didn't want to ever like bring up when something bothered me or make her think she was doing something wrong, which don't fall into that trap. That's not good. It builds a false expectation it's not going to last you long. Make sure you talk things out with your partner and genuinely bring up when things bother you so you guys can grow. But I didn't know that. Nobody had told me that at that point. And it's actually made a big deal. I actually spoke up about this. I was like, hey, this kind of makes me uncomfortable. Because I mean, like, you're hanging out with another guy, and with that, a guy who clearly likes you. And basically, I brought this to her attention, and she pretty much invalidated my feelings, told me it wasn't a big deal, and said that me saying that was kind of controlling. And that was like an icicle in the heart, because like I rarely ever brought genuine concerns to her, and then I brought this and just like just shut down, and it bothered me for a while. Like pushed my mental state really low to not the worst the worst it had been at that point. It got worse later on, but it pushed me really low. And in retrospect, I should have broken up with her because of that. I don't know why I didn't, but I should have. But yeah, eventually the problem fixed itself. They had another falling out like a week later, so they never got to hang out. But what was said was already said. And so yeah, that took a while for me to finally get to a mental point where I was super happy with her. And it took us going on a vacation to my grandpa's lake house. We went there and we had fun. It was kind of like a falling back in love thing. This happened Labor Day weekend. Like that's September. So this was 6 months in when I finally started falling back in love with her. We went to the lake house, and I was going into it with two expectations. I was like, I'm either gonna get so sick of her or I'm gonna be obsessed with her. And luckily I came out obsessed with her. And then we were good for a while. And but there were just like, it took a while for another big event like June to happen again. But, there were just like small things. Like, she was just friends with a lot of guys at school, which if you're a girl watching this, a lot of girls don't really realize this, but as guys, we know guys a lot better than you do. We know their intentions exactly. Every guy has been the guy best friend before. They're friends with you to try and get with you. Because the reality of the situation is, whether you want to accept it or not, it doesn't matter what gender you are, whether you want to accept it or not, guys have a better time around other guys. They can relate to them more, and they just have more fun. That's just the way it is. Like it or not. And of course there's outliers. Like, this is a generalization, but this is like a 95% of the population generalization. So there's that. If a guy's friends with you, oftentimes it's because he's trying to get with you. So, little tip for the ladies. If you're trying to find out who's actually into you, if it's a guy, you could almost count on it. If you're friends with a guy, you can almost count on it. Unless he's already asked you out. And that's a whole nother thing. Is guys, as long as they're single, they never stop liking a girl. Like, when they get in a relationship, that changes, because I mean, like, you're in a relationship. But if you're single and you ask a girl out and she rejects you and you move on and you start liking another girl, if girl number one, like, this girl number one, if girl number one changes her mind, is like, I want you, this dude is leaving girl number two and is like, I want you. They never truly stop liking the person until they get in a relationship, and then it kind of wipes the slate clean, sort of. But yeah, just friends with guys who like her, but she didn't care and would still be friends with them, and that just bothered me, naturally, you know? But by this point, like, I was just... Well, no, we'll get to that later, sorry. I got ahead of myself there. And then it was late December, early January, she got a gym membership and wanted to start going to the gym. But she was waiting for some of her friends that were girls to get, some of her girlfriends to get their gym memberships. But she wanted to learn the ropes of the gym. And so she went with this one guy who, shocker, has liked her in the past, Matthew. Oh, fuck, I shouldn't have said his name. Fuck. I'll try to figure out how to bleep that out. If not, then sorry, Matthew, I leaked your name. Went with this one guy. Yeah, that dude. And at this point, I was like, all my energy had been spent. Like, I was forced to get used to other guys. It's really draining. You just, if it happens to you enough, other guys sneak into your relationship enough, you stop caring. You're just like, just another drop in the bucket at that point. You're like, oh, it's just the next in line, you know, the next one to try and get with her and her not realize it. And it's just like, she went with him at the beginning, and I didn't even have a problem with it because I had to grow out of it if I was going to date her. But then eventually she was like, hey, she texted me after the first day, and she was like, hey, I know, I was just thinking about how you felt about me going to the gym with that guy, and I just wanted to let you know that, like, it was just, my phone just fell. Forgive me. Jesus Christ. Sorry for that jump scare. Jesus. God. Okay. This thing's probably gonna fall again. Hang on. Bear with me. Alright. Where was I? Let me think. Hang on. Gym guy. So, yeah. She was like, okay, it's only for the beginning. And I was just like, oh yeah, cool. Like, I wasn't even bothered by it, but it made me happy. I was like, oh, she thought of how I would feel hanging out with another guy. I was like, oh, nice. But then, like, I found out like 2 weeks later that they were still going. I was like, oh, you're still going with him? I was like, do your friends have memberships yet? Or you haven't graduated to working out alone? You're still going with this guy? And I was just kind of like, all right. Because it wasn't as much like, again, I was just burnt out by trying to fight this battle of other guys that I was like, it's not even about him trying to flirt with you anymore. It's about that other people are going to look at you there and think, oh, look, a girl working out with her boyfriend, when it's not her boyfriend. I'm the boyfriend that is just off to the side because we went to different gyms. She lived in like 20 minutes away. And I was just like, you're still going with him? Really? But again, I didn't have enough energy to care. And then the event happened about 2 weeks ago. I think it's 3 weeks tomorrow, maybe. She had a shift on a Wednesday, and she came home from her shift. Now she works at a swim school where she teaches little kids to swim. And I was like, how's your work? And she was like, good. And then she said she got partnered with a certain guy at work again. And this guy is known for being a flirt around her work. And I was like, oh, more flirting? Is he trying to flirt with you again? And then she said, yeah. And she was like, but I wasn't doing anything to stop it. Like, I never mentioned that I had a boyfriend. And I was just kind of like, okay, thanks. Thanks for letting me know. And she was really mad at herself because she said she knew he was flirting with her. She was flirting back. She knew she was flirting back and still did it. Like, had a conscious thought of, I'm flirting with this guy, and was like, I like this. I'm gonna keep doing it. And I asked her, I was like, okay, let me make sure I'm not getting anything twisted here. What you're telling me is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you were flirting with another guy at your work and you didn't stop doing it because you enjoyed it. And she was like, yeah, pretty much. And like, she was really upset. It's not like she did it out of spite. She was actually upset with herself for doing that. And I was just like, okay. And I was like, I need a couple days to think about this, just to think this over. But I wasn't even mad. Like, at this point in the relationship, I had to deal with other guys so much that it had drained all the life out of me, all the care. I couldn't care about it anymore. I was like, I've been doing this charade for so long. This doesn't, like, I wasn't as much mad about her as I was just disappointed. I was like, I really didn't think you were that type of person. I really thought you were better than that. Like, I really did. Even after everything that she had done, all the other guys in the past, I really did think that she was better than that. But she wasn't. And that was a boundary that I couldn't do. Like, I can't see myself going back to a relationship where you openly flirted with another guy and you told me. Like, that's just embarrassing for me. Like, your boy got outplayed. Like, I can't go back to that. Especially knowing that. Like, that'd be horrible. It killed my confidence. There's no way I'd be able to have any confidence around her anymore. It would always be in the back of my mind of like, she flirted with another guy, you're not enough. It was just, I knew that going back would ruin me mentally. And I had done so much in that relationship for her. I needed to do something for me to benefit me. And so I left. I told her, I was like, after a week-long break of me thinking about it, I thought about this a lot, every single option. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't I can't go back to this. I can't see myself going back to a relationship like this. This crosses a line for me. I can't do it. And she was obviously upset with herself, mostly. She wasn't mad at me. She completely understood my decision and thought it was warranted. But yeah, she was really upset with herself for letting that happen and putting a 10-month relationship in jeopardy. And I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her. I don't want to be the same spiteful ex that I was after the second time we dated, because that just made a big mess and made it uncomfortable for everybody. I don't want to do that again. And so I just hope she learns from this and betters herself for the next person that she finds. And I wish her the best. But yeah, that's the story. And now to address the actual title of the video, in case you didn't already get the point. But other guys ruin relationships. It's a horrible practice to have to and this doesn't apply to just other guys. This applies to just other girls too. If you're like a guy being like, sorry, let me rephrase that. It doesn't just apply to guys. It applies to any friend of the opposite gender. It's just, it creates room for a lot of doubt and insecurity. And it's just something that's really avoidable. You don't have to unfriend them, but just distance yourself. They'll understand. Like, well, actually, a lot of times they won't, but you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice about who you're more concerned with upsetting. Your friend of the opposite gender or your significant other. Because in that moment, when she flirted with that guy from work and didn't want to tell him to stop, she was more concerned with the conversation she was having with him than the feelings that I would feel after that. I forgot an important detail, because we met up and talked this out because I wanted to make sure I got every detail right. She also told me she didn't want him, he tried to follow her on Instagram, and she didn't want him following her because she didn't want him to see me on her Instagram. And that was really what sold me, where I was like, this is everything short of cheating. I can't be a part of this. But random detail that I had to throw out there. But I keep going back to the fact where I didn't understand why I wasn't mad. This was something I should have been mad about. I should have been livid about this. Like, she's basically cheating on me in a 10-month relationship. And I think I did a lot of thinking on it, and I'm pretty sure what it comes down to is that I had gotten used to other guys. I'd become numb to it. Like, it had just happened so many times that it didn't have the same effect on me that it did the first time around with my friend. I just seen every single iteration of this, every adaptation of this play, and it didn't have the same impact that it would have, because I just got numb from it. And it's incredibly detrimental to a relationship. If you're gonna have friends of the opposite gender, you have to be willing to compromise and to listen to your partners, to their concerns, because you can't pick, you have to pick one of each. You can't do neither. Well, I mean, you can do neither, but you can't do both. You can't have guy friends and also not care about how your boyfriend thinks about that. You're breaking two bare minimums there. The bare minimum one of cutting off all of your other guy friends who are interested in you when you find someone you genuinely like, and two, actually caring about what your boyfriend has to say and making changes because you love him, because he's your boyfriend. And she broke both of those negatives. And yeah, it was tough. And I think it definitely contributed, if not kickstarted, some depressive feelings, which I'll cover in another video. But yeah, it's really damaging on your mental, a lot more damaging than you realize. Because also, I didn't realize how taxing the relationship really was until I left, took a break, where I was like, I felt almost relieved. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to deal with this anymore. And I am sad to think about all the good times that we had to throw away, all the good memories, all the good photos, everything that we had to get rid of because of a mistake. But it's the price you pay when you mess up, you know? It just makes me sad because I was forced to make a lose-lose situation decision based off something that was completely outside of my control. It just put me in a really shitty position. And I think I made the right decision. I think I made the right decision. But that's the story, my relationship with a slight takeaway. What did we learn? What's the main takeaway? Is that other guys in a relationship cause lots of problems and lots of insecurities. And I mean, everyone's relationship is unique. Every person is unique. I'm not trying to say that all guy friends are bad, because I'm sure there are relationships that function great with people who have guy friends. But this is just the effect that my ex-girlfriend's guy friends had on me. This is what they did to me. And I'm just hoping this reaches the right audience that can feel a little bit of identity with what I'm saying, so they feel like they're not alone. If their girlfriend tried to gaslight them into thinking you should be okay with this, that they find somebody else who's like, I wasn't okay with this. And it's okay that you're not okay with this, because everyone is a unique person and nobody thinks the same way. And for them to tell you that you should think this way and that you're doing something wrong for thinking another way is not healthy. So yeah, that's my personal experience with other guys. Not a good one. And I'm hoping the next person I meet that I really like, that's going to be something I genuinely consider, is who are their friends and how do they act around other guys. Because I want to feel like, I don't want them to feel like they have to outsource extra attention from other guys. I want them to think of me as the whole package, sort of like I can be your boyfriend, but you don't need to get more attention from other people. So yeah.